Hi, it's Alicia from the Pretty Brown Eyed Reader. I'm coming today with my September reading wrap up. And the first book that I want to talk about is the book called The Gift of Forgiveness, and that's by Katherine Schwarzenegger Pratt. I actually have a review of that book already posted, so I'll just leave a link to it. You can see my in-depth thoughts of that book. And it is a nonfiction book where she talks to different people about their journey of forgiveness, and so you can see all my thoughts on that book in that video. So the second thing I read for the month of September is this audiobook, and that is Demi Moore's Inside Out. And I actually started listening to it, I think, in August and finished it in September, because I generally do my audiobooks while I'm in the car. So since pandemic has hit and I do part remote working and part in office, so I'm not in the car as much as I used to be. So it takes a little longer to finish the audiobooks. And so Demi Moore's autobiography was very, very interesting, and I'm surprised at how forthcoming she was with so much information. And it brought back a lot of things that I remember reading in the tabloids or hearing about Demi coming up. I didn't know about her family background of how traumatic her childhood was, so I don't want to give too much of her story away in case you want to read the book. The thing that struck me most was how honest she was about her famous relationships that we know so much about, being engaged to Emilio Estevez. Of course, she was married to Bruce Willis, and then being married to Ashton Kutcher. So the relationship with Ashton has always fascinated me because of course, when it first came out, everybody was talking about this was just a publicity stunt, and I was like, I don't know if that's really a publicity stunt, and I don't think it was. But those of us who are a little bit older in age, you may joke about getting a young man, but after listening to Demi's story, I don't think that's the route I want to go anymore. I used to joke with my family all the time that I was going to get me a 25-year-old because he have a lot of energy, he can take care of stuff. But nah, I don't, that may not work out. And everybody's different, so it may work out for other people. Not sure if it does. But I would say definitely check out, if you know anything about Demi Moore, you'll know that this is a fascinating story to listen to, and she's very candid about her experiences. So the next couple of things I read were advanced readers copies through NetGalley, and the first one was a book called Reading While Black, and it's by Dr. Esau McCaulley. And Dr. Esau McCaulley, he is a pastor, he's a theologian, and he wrote this book because so many people don't feel like the Bible actually speaks to black people. And so he wrote this book and showed how different passages can be interpreted in the context of especially the current issues that are facing black people today, especially economics, policing, how we view ourselves. So many different passages can speak to the black experience. The thing is, we just haven't been taught how to have the lenses to look at the scriptures. So that book was very fascinating for me. It's a great reference book, and I am glad I got a chance to read an advanced copy of it. Also, Dr. McCaulley, he does a lot of different podcasts, especially the Jude 3 Project podcast, and I do listen to that frequently because it is an apologetics podcast teaching people how to defend their faith. And so I'll leave a link to that podcast in the description box as well. So the second advanced readers copy that I had this month was The Awkward Man by Walter Mosely. And Walter Mosely is known as a great mystery writer. He's very prolific. I can't even count how many works of literature he has, but this is a short story collection, and each one of the short stories follows a different man and how he's awkward in different phases of his life, and maybe with relationship, jobs, profession, curiosities, whatever. And so he does this, is very skilled, but some I can see like running themes and running settings through them. The majority of them take place in New York. It has something to do with maybe an insurance company, some type of firm. But it's always interesting to see a writer we kind of think about as one genre write something else. And with Walter Mosely writing this short story collection, some of them have a little bit of mystery feel to them, but the majority of them just a good short story. So check out The Awkward Black Man. It came out in September. So it's already out for purchase. So my last book that I want to talk about for the month of September is, this is my library copy of it, is Kindred by Octavia Butler, and this is the graphic novel of Kindred. And so let's see. For some reason the library cover doesn't quite look like the one that everybody else is used to seeing, but this is Kindred. And so Kindred is a science fiction book that kind of the main character, Dana, she jumps from the 70s LA back in time to Virginia and during slavery times. I am not a huge science fiction person, so I tried to read Kindred in the novel form first years ago, probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I couldn't do it. So as part of the Octavia E. Butler slow read along, Kindred was the first novel pick, and you could do the graphic order. So I tried the graphic for the read along. I got through it much better than when I tried to read it, because to me, if you do time travel, if you go back in the past, you're going to mess up the future. So I cannot wrap my mind around time travel. So, but reading it in the graphic novel was good for me, because I kind of could see the action along. But it's still, my question about the time travel was still there. During the discussion of Kindred, which occurred at the end of September, one of the things that came up was the graphic novel, and people in my breakout session were saying that they didn't really like the graphic novel as much as the novel, because could actually see what was going on, and instead of reading Octavia Butler's description of things that occurred. If you are a fan of Octavia Butler, if you are into time travel, it definitely would be a good book for you to read. I myself, it wasn't that good for me because of the things that I talked about, because I can't wrap my mind around time travel. I could deal with reading stuff about slavery. It's just, I feel like when you jump back into something, how is what you're doing not going to affect the future? Okay, so that is my reading and my rambling about my reading for the month of September. I hope you had a good reading month, and I will check in with you soon.